All right, class, how's things going? All right. So far today we've talked about two different philosophers in Industrial Revolution economics, and we discussed the motivations and principles of the market, which would be for the modern society, and what they thought the future would look like for the modern society. So really quickly, I want to go back into the text and maybe look at another section that you perhaps passed off because it was in the margins. I want this half of the class over here to read on page 647, History Makers, Adam Smith, 1723 to 1790. And this side over here to read Karl Marx, History Makers, 1818 to 1883. It's only 2 paragraphs, shouldn't take you more than a couple minutes, but that's on page 649. Okay, we'll skip along for time. Okay, so it looks like everyone's done reading. All right, got everyone's attention. Good. Now, in their works, they talked about how the market would work, what forces drive the market, and what our future might look like. In this side over here, I want you to break up into groups of 4. And on here, break up into groups of 4. And pull out a piece of paper. And I'm going to give you a prompt, and I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to write about it, reflecting on what you've read previously and what you've just read. Here's the prompt. How does a baker know how much bread to bake according to Marx and according to Adam Smith? Go ahead and take 5 minutes.
Can we read it?
Did we not
It's just,
recording?
no, it's just like very awkward right now.
It's okay with the sound, I'm alright.
No, like seeing
Oh,
all
because
your.
I paced.
No, like seeing them, but you're like talking at me. It's just like very awkward. Like we need like.
It's okay, I don't care. I don't care.
You don't think it was awkward when we all like stand in the middle?
Okay, no, it's fine. I'll edit this part out. I'll edit this part out. Okay, so, well, let's ask a couple students. Raul, what did your group come up with? How is the baker going to decide how much bread to cook if he's a Marxist or living in a Marxist society, or how much bread is he going to cook in a capitalist society?
So in the Marxist...
Which group were you in? I'm sorry, which group were you
I
in?
was in the capitalist.
Oh, you were in the capitalist group. Okay. So explain in the capitalist system, how does a baker decide how much bread he needs to stock in his bakery? Explain.
They look at who's more hungry.
The capitalist will look at who's more hungry.
Yeah.
And based off the reading, how did you make that conclusion? Can you provide me a direct quote?
Says that buyers spent money for the things they wanted most. Oh, so if they want more bread.
So if they want more bread, not necessarily according to what they need, but because maybe you want some sourdough bread, right? Or you need a bagel. So the baker needs to know how to do that, and he'll decide, the baker's going to decide based off the wants of his customers. Who was on the Marxist side again? Anyone can explain? Oh, well, hi, Brenda. Brenda, can you explain how a Marxist baker might look at, or how a baker in a Marxist system might look at how they stock their shelves? How much bread should a Marxist baker bake?
Well, we know that the capitalist baker, he's eventually going to bake himself into oblivion because his system will eventually destroy itself. It says so right there on page, what is this? Page 2126, or 650, excuse me. So I know that the Marxist baker, if I have to think about it in terms of bread, will make enough bread to feed everyone.
Okay. He'll make enough bread to feed everyone. All
Or
right.
as much as the supplies allow.
As much as the supplies allows. Well, that seems more like a capitalist concept.
Good point. Ignore the supplies.
Because the Marxist is more interested on meeting the needs of whom, Brenda?
The Marxists love the people.
The people, of course. So a surplus would be,
What's a surplus?
a surplus is when you have more resources than you have demand.
What's demand?
The demand is the amount of any given good or service that a population in a marketplace wants.
How many people are coming to this bakery?
Quite a bit. It's a pretty sizable town. It's a town of, say, 20 people.
Okay.
Sizable.
Oh, it's small.
So, okay, we've talked about the concept of capitalism and Marxism through the lens of a producing baker who bakes bread for his village. I think I feel comfortable moving on into our next activity where we will assume other roles in the Marxist and capitalist societies, having now looked at this through the eyes of the baker. Here's some roles.